if we're talking about engaging girls in sport, let's talk about the benefits, and what are some of the benefits for clubs and engaging girls in their sport. And Kate, I'm going to come to you first on this. So what are the benefits to clubs?
Hello, thanks for inviting me along. Yeah, I mean, I think for clubs, there's huge benefit. We know that teenage girls, this is a really tricky time when girls are going through puberty and growing up. And actually, that is a really important time to inspire them and create a real love of sport and activity for life. So we know if we get it right at that early stage, it can be incredibly powerful throughout their lives, builds friendships, builds fitness, allows them to feel empowered. So we know that getting it right is important. And I think for clubs, they have such an important role to play, because actually, you know, almost 4 out of 10 girls only do sport within schools. And we know that girls sometimes don't engage with sport in the same way in schools as they would do in a more free environment. So I think that's something that is a really important role for clubs to play, because actually, if you can get girls into those clubs, first and foremost, those girls get a great benefit from that club, but also other girls see them taking part in sport and activity on the fields, on the courts, wherever that sport's taking place. So again, you start to create this really positive momentum. And we talked about girls not feeling they belong. That's a way to really help them feel they belong. So I think there's a really important role for sports to play at that critical teenage stage.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you there. But what you said around, if they see their friends taking part, it's that group mentality as well, isn't it? And providing a safe, fun environment for them to take part in sport. And 𝐿𝑚, I'd love for you to come to you for this question as well. With your involvement with the FAW, what are the benefits for clubs?
I think that sport plays such a big role in society, right? And it's where kind of gender norms are kind of played out. And what we see as the FAW, you know, we're trying to project a modern Wales to, you know, especially maximising the awareness around our women's national team at the minute and the men's team qualifying for the World Cup. And for us, a modern Wales is a diverse and inclusive one where, you know, female voices and opinions and accessibility are just as important and just as valued as men's. And I think we're in a bit of a, I look at the female game in Wales here, and we're at a bit of a crisis point, right? So we've got a fantastic national team that are developing, a kind of like getting better game by game. And then at the bottom end, we've got, you know, thousands and thousands of young girls starting football, you know, whether that's at one of our huddle centres, you know, that Canton Lives are obviously running one of our very successful huddle centres. Lots of girls start in the game, but then when they get into that teenage years, because of whether it's fear of judgment or whether it is not the right opportunities or not the right environment for them, girls are dropping out in huge numbers. This isn't a secret. We've known this for such a long time now. But whereas clubs and how they create an inclusive and supportive environment for those young girls, so when they are kind of growing up and hitting their teenage years, those clubs play such a huge role in developing either our future workforce in the game or our future players. You know, you only have to look at kind of rural areas like mid Wales, where you look at someone like Carrie Jones. There was no girls teams for her at kind of under 12s, under 14s. So she was lucky enough in her case where, you know, the local boys team completely included her, provided her with that incredible platform for her to achieve her potential and go on to incredible things, right? And I look at kind of 𝗟RH𝗂 and 𝐷𝐿𝑚 White Stars now, and they're reaping all of the benefits and the incredible momentum behind being responsible for developing Carrie Jones now, right? So what I will say to some of those clubs, that who knows who might be coming through your doors. You know, it might be the next 𝗟𝘂𝗿𝐿, but it's more likely to be the next 𝗟ऱ्𝘂𝗵𝗏, because we know that the majority of our men's internationals are in kind of elite academies from such a young age. So realizing the potential of who you could be shaping and developing for the future would be my tip to clubs.